Grace and peace, friends and family. Welcome to another conversation. Thank you so much for pressing play and choosing to spend some time with me today. Welcome to all the new listeners and subscribers. My name is Joy, founder of Pink Girl Teaches. I welcome you and I thank you so much for joining us today. I want to talk about 7 reasons why narcissists engage in silent treatment. If you've been in a relationship with one of them, if you know one of them, you have most definitely experienced silent treatment, very passive aggressive. But before we do that, I want to take a moment to invite you to join me on the Sunday night live streams. Listen, bring a friend and let's talk. I discuss narcissistic abuse and spiritual warfare, of course, from a biblical and spiritual perspective. And we shed light and we go a little deeper in the topics, and it's a wonderful time and we learn together, right? If you are interested in healing or reparenting your inner child, I have a workshop on Saturday, which is July the 29th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can visit the website, pinkgirlteachers.com, under the events tab to sign up. And you can browse the website to see what else is going on. So thank you. Now let's get to our conversation for today. Narcissists use silent treatment as a manipulative tactic, and they do it to exert control, maintain power, and punish others, right? So silent treatment involves avoiding the conversations, refusing to engage in the conversations, which is stonewalling, right? They stonewall, and they often do this silent treatment thing of theirs for an extended period of time. And this is where it gets crazy. You can be in the house, married to one of them, and they don't want to talk to you for weeks and months at a time. This is silent treatment, and listen, it is highly abusive, right? But let's discuss some of the reasons why narcissists may employ this behavior. Number 1 is power and control. Narcissists crave power and control over others. Much like the enemy, you see, the enemy seeks to gain dominion over mankind, right? By gaining power and control. And listen, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They behave just like him. And so they seek power and control. They seek dominion over mankind. And by giving the silent treatment, right, what they are doing is asserting dominance and creating a sense of superiority on the inside of them, right? They're validating themselves. And this is where it is crazy, because it is an illusion. It is not real. That is not real superiority. It is the sign of the weakest link. I always say this: when you find a narcissist, you have found the weakest link. Get rid of that link. Make it, and they do this to make you feel uncomfortable, to make you feel vulnerable and anxious. They get you to do it, or they do it so that they can get you to tap dance to the beat of their drum. They enjoy watching you walk on eggshells, being hyper vigilant, auditioning for their love and acceptance and their attention. Listen, it's about power and control. Another reason is punishment and revenge. So narcissists may use the silent treatment as a form of punishment when they may feel slighted. Well, why would they feel slighted? I don't know. Maybe the sun is shining. Maybe you brushed your teeth. Maybe you smiled and showed all your teeth. Maybe you are just a happy person. Maybe the sun is shining. I don't know. But narcissists are easily triggered. And this is what happens when people carry so much hate in their hearts. It's easy to trigger them. And their ego is so gigantic, yet it's wounded so easily. And so it's a way for them to retaliate and make you suffer emotionally. The third reason why is emotional manipulation. Let's not forget, this is emotional abuse. Narcissistic abuse is emotional abuse, right? And so is the silent treatment. So when they ignore you, when they ignore their target or withhold communication, it is highly manipulative emotionally, right? They expect the other person to feel guilty and anxious and desperate to regain their attention and favor. And so it's all so that you can just do what they want you to do. It's all that you can just, pursue them and chase after them. But I just want to submit this for your consideration. You can only chase what is running away from you. Don't chase. Do not chase. The fourth reason why is for attention seeking. Naturally, narcissists, right? But the silent treatment can be a way for narcissists to seek attention. They want the target, right? They want their victim to chase after them, apologize, beg for forgiveness. And here's the thing. You're begging a lot of times for forgiveness for things you don't know. You're begging for forgiveness for things you did not do. And this is where we pump the brakes, okay? This is where we check ourselves, because this should be one of our boundaries, that we are not apologizing for things that we didn't do, for things that we didn't say. We are not apologizing that people are, because these narcissists lack the maturity to self-regulate or whatever it is, but we're not apologizing for what we didn't do. And that should be a boundary, and we don't cross it. It's for our protection. It's for the preservation of who we are and who we are becoming. We can't entertain the enemy like that. Why would you go and apologize to the devil for what he's doing? No, we don't. We don't. But they want you to chase them down because it feeds their ego and their insatiable need for validation. And one thing that I realized, or that I remember from my season in this prison, right, is that I found out later that he was doing it with all his sources of supply at the same time. And it was just crazy to believe that somebody can really feast on something so toxic and so demonic, but they do. They do. Another reason why narcissists, may employ the silent treatment is to avoid accountability. You see, you may confront them and all they are hearing you and how they perceive it or what they take away from it is you just pointing out their flaws, pointing out their mistakes, pointing out their behavior. And this is like holding a mirror up to them and they can see themselves. You're no longer praising them. You're no longer, worshiping them. You're no longer looking at them on the pedestal, but you're holding the mirror and they have to face the truth. And that's what they don't want. Narcissists don't want that. They don't want to feel like they are weak. They don't want to feel like, they're normal like other people. But it's true, they're not normal. They're in a class of their own, okay? But they do it to avoid accountability. And so they may resort to this silent treatments to just avoid a mature conversation, to avoid taking responsibility as well as accountability. So now for those of you in these love relationships I say love, but it's loose. There is no love without accountability and responsibility. Love has a requirement. You must be accountable to the person that you claim to love or that loves you, and you must be responsible with the love that they show you. Narcissists are neither or. They are none of the above, right? And they do it also. They engage in silent treatment as a means of emotional regulation. I kind of touched on this a little bit, but narcissists struggle with emotional regulation. First of all, they just don't. They don't regulate their emotions. And when they're upset, angry, or feel insecure, they may use the silent treatment as a way to manage or to cope with their emotions. Now, let me tell you this. You are not the dumpster for the narcissist emotions. You are not the one that is supposed to take the brunt of their inability to regulate their emotions. You are not there for them to project how they feel onto you. Child of God, you have to look at yourself and recognize that you, right where you are, just the way that you are worthy of love and respect. And my friend, it starts with you. Do not internalize what they say. Do not internalize the silent treatment, and do not feed the beast, okay? Don't feed the demonic beast, because all it's going to do is get emboldened to pursue you even more and to actually run you down even more. No, we're not playing with the enemy, not a single game. But what also happens is they employ the silent treatment to maintain distance. They may use silent treatment to maintain emotional distance in relationships, especially when they are dealing with multiple sources of supply. It helps them to keep their compartments of people. Think about it, right? To keep their compartments and people in position. And one of the reasons why they do this is they fear intimacy, or they fear being vulnerable, because you will see who they are. They have nothing to offer, and they're not this charming, amazing, wonderful person that they once made you feel that they were. And also, it just allows them to do their dirt on the down low. That's all. That is all. They're creating or maintaining distance. And one reason why, and this can tie into the punishment, is because they know you want that connection. You want that intimacy. You want to feel that unity, that oneness. But how do two become one when the other one is running? Listen, I said it earlier. You only chase what is running away from you. I think I want to be sure that I stress this in a real serious manner, because it is that silent treatment is toxic behavior, and it can be emotionally damaging as well as spiritually damaging to the person on the receiving end. If you are somebody who is experiencing silent treatment, or I want to encourage you to set up boundaries. Don't think that when you go no contact, it's the same as silent treatment. It isn't. You're not doing it to be abusive. You're not doing it to punish anybody. And listen, let's not try to punish the narcissist for what they did. Romans 12:19 says, make room for my wrath. That's what God says. For vengeance belongs to him. So why don't we just submit to God, right? By listening to his word, make room for my wrath, resist the devil. Let's not engage with the narcissist, and he will flee. The demons must flee, because we are operating in God's order. Fearless one, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Listen, if you have not hit the like button, please go ahead and hit the like, comment, let me know what you think about these 7 points and what you would add or subtract, and share the video with somebody who needs to hear about silent treatment. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me, fearless one. God bless you, and continue to pursue your most significant state.